Hi, it's Mr. Votes here. For all kindergartners, first graders, and second graders who may have missed my live music class lesson this week of April 13th through the 17th. This week we discussed a family, and that family is similar to your current family. Now, we all know that you have maybe a mom, a dad, and a brother and sister, but when it comes to the instruments of the orchestra, we have four different families, and that includes the following families. This is the string family: violin, viola, cello, bass, and harp, and it sounds like this. The other family is here, the woodwind family, which has piccolo, flute, clarinet, oboe, and bassoon, and that sounds like this. Now we call it woodwinds because it requires air from the mouth to blow, and we'll explain that later. The other family is the percussion family, of which during music class, when we had class at Central Riverside, we played a lot of these instruments like the drum, the triangles, other percussion instruments that sound like this. The other family is the brass family, which consists of trumpets, trombones, French horns, and tuba, and they sound like this. There we have it. Four families in our instrument families: the strings, the woodwinds, the percussion, and the brass. Here is a song that clearly describes all these families that we have. But I want you, if you want to, and you have the room, you could dance with this group who will give you ways to perform these instruments. So whenever you play a trumpet, you can act like you're playing a trumpet. If we talk about strings, you act like you're playing a violin. If you're talking about the woodwinds, you can act like you're playing a flute. If you talk about percussion, you can say act like you're playing a drum or cymbals. Here it is. Enjoy this, and you can do this movement at your homes with your family.
We are the orchestra, now come and hear us play. We are the brass, oh yeah, we are the brass, oh yeah, we are the brass, oh yeah, hear the brass play, oh yeah.
Do those same movements that you see now. Trumpets.
We are the orchestra, now come and hear us play. We are the strings, oh yeah, we are the strings, oh yeah, we are the strings, oh yeah, hear the strings play, oh yeah.
Act like you're playing a violin or a cello or a bass.
We are the orchestra, now come and hear us play. We are the woodwinds, oh yeah, we are the woodwinds, oh yeah, we are the woodwinds, oh yeah, hear the woodwinds, oh yeah.
Act like you're playing a flute.
We are the orchestra, now come and hear us play. We are percussion, oh yeah, we are percussion, oh yeah, we are percussion, oh yeah, hear the percussion, oh yeah.
Act like you're playing a drum or crash cymbals.
We are the orchestra, now come and hear us play.
I'm the conductor, oh yeah, I'm the conductor, oh yeah, I'm the conductor, oh yeah, watch me closely, oh yeah.
Brass! Strings! Woodwinds! Percussion! Strings! Percussion! Brass!
go. Good job on that. All right. So now we're going to look at each of the instruments of the woodwind section. This one is called a piccolo, and we reveal all these parts that have question marks. Here's the lip plate where you would put your mouth. The embouchure means lip. That's where you put, the hole is where you put your mouth, and the keys change the notes. And it sounds like this, the piccolo. Here's the flute. And the parts revealed are the lip plate, just like the piccolo in a hole, and the keys. And it sounds like this. Now, here's the oboe, revealing the parts here. The reed is where you put your mouth, the keys, and the sound comes out from the bell. And it sounds like this. Here's a clarinet, and the parts reveal. Here's the mouthpiece that connects over here, and you would blow through the reed. And it sounds like this. Here's a bassoon. It's so big, it's put together in two parts here. So this is the bottom part of it, and this is the top part. And revealing the parts, we see all the joints that connect to one another. But right over here is where they would blow to make the sound. And it sounds like this. If you've ever seen the movie Harry Potter, you've heard this instrument. Now remember seeing the clarinet? Well, this is the bass clarinet. It's bigger and it almost looks like a saxophone at the end. And here are the parts. This is the mouthpiece where he blows, and the bell curves up like a saxophone. It sounds like this, a lot lower. So now we've journeyed through all the instruments of the woodwinds, the piccolo, the flute, the oboe, the clarinet, and the bassoon and bass clarinet. Now, let's go to another family, the brass family, which consists of the trumpet. Here are the parts. Blow through here, change the notes with the vowels, and it sounds like this. Another brass instrument is the trombone, and these are the parts. The bells where the sound comes from. This is where you put your mouth, and this slide goes up and down depending on the pitch of the notes, and it sounds like this. A bigger brass instrument is this one, so big that if you had it and you were playing it, you would have to carry it on your back to cart it around. And here's where you blow through the mouthpiece here. Sound comes out here, and it sounds like this, very low. The last instrument is a French horn. And the French horn's parts are the mouthpieces here, and the valves roll around, and the bell sounds right here where all the sound comes out. It sounds like this. All right. The last one I'm going to discuss today is the string family. So far we've had woodwinds, brass, and now strings. And I bet you know what this is, a violin. Look at all the parts for the violin, the strings, this bridge. Chin is rest is for your chin when you hold the instrument. The bow goes across the strings, and it sounds like this. And a bigger violin, bigger than this, is called the viola. And it has the same parts as the violin, but it's a bigger instrument, making a deeper sonorous sound. Now, a bigger instrument that you play between your legs while seated is the cello. And it has similar parts to a violin, but it's a lot bigger. And it sounds deeper and lower like this. Bigger than the cello is the double bass, almost as tall as Mr. Quotes, and it has the same parts, but it plays a lot lower. So now we've journeyed through 3 of the families, which was the woodwinds first, then it was followed by the brass family, and finally the string family. The percussion family y'all are familiar with, so we don't really need to cover that. But I want you to see, let's do a little fun quiz here and see if you know what instrument is playing. Let's listen to this. Well, that's not an instrument. It's a sound. What is it? If you think it was a horse, you're right. Here's another sound. What do you think that is? Sounds like a string instrument, kind of deep. I would say it could be a cello. All right. I don't know why it has a horse back there, but this is a cello. Here's another one. If you guessed a flute or a bird, you're correct. Great. What is this? Percussion. Yes. Great. All right. Let's see. What is this? What's this instrument? If you guessed trumpet, you're right. Good. What is this instrument? What do you think? If it is a drum, it looks like this, and you are correct. It's snare drum. Here's another one. Well, it is a string instrument, and if you guess the cello, you're correct. Here's the next one. What is this? Sounds like a woodwind, right? What do you think? Flute? Yes. All right, two more. Uh-oh, I hear two instruments. What are the two instruments? I hear a flute and a drum. Correct. Last one. Sounds like brass and drum. Trumpets and drum. Let's look. Yes, it's trumpets and drum. All right. Now that we've learned about all the different instrument families, we are going to hear the New York Philharmonic play in their own homes and apartments on a YouTube video that went really viral last week. They all played from their different homes a piece called Bolero, and I want you now to enjoy that. This is a performance Philharmonic from their different homes of the Ravel's Bolero. And you will notice all the different instruments that we just learned about today are in this video. So let's enjoy it. Here it is, dedicated to all those who are doing all kinds of things to help those who are ill. Starts with the snare drum. There's a violin, there's a harp, cello, and appearing in this part of the screen, a flute. Clarinet. Oh, that's a bassoon, another woodwind. A little clarinet, another woodwind. The rest of the pictures are strings. Strings are called strings because they have strings that they're plucking. Beautiful oboe, another woodwind. What's that? A trumpet. All the woodwinds. Piccolo, flute, oboe, now, finally, the violins. Adding cellos. Wasn't that amazing? Wow, that's all I can say with that. So today we learned about the orchestra family. So when we describe the woodwinds, we're talking about the flute, the oboe, the piccolo, the clarinet, bassoon, and we're talking about the brass. We're talking about trumpets, trombones, tuba, and French horn. And when we're talking about percussion, we're talking about timpani, drums. We're talking about the other family, which is string family, violin, viola, cello, and bass. I hope you enjoyed today's class. And at the end of viewing this recording, please make sure you do the attendance quiz that is attached in this assignment. Until next week, you all take care, and I hope next time you can join me for live music class with Mr. Quotes. You all take care.